Good afternoon. I'm Bob Jacobson, and I have the honor of serving as the Commissioner for the Department of Public Safety. We are here today to let everyone see some of the agencies that are here and ready for this weekend as people prepare to exercise their First Amendment rights to peacefully protest. We know that there are several scheduled events. The people you see here represent just a few of the agencies that will be here to help protect public safety, so everyone has the right to express their views. I'm appreciative of our state partners, including the Minnesota National Guard, State Patrol, Department of Natural Resources, Metro Transit, and the University of Minnesota, who all stand ready to uphold public safety. That also is true for our local law enforcement, emergency responders, and our dispatchers. I know their commitment to our communities is unwavering. We are also very thankful to the thousands of our neighbors and fellow Minnesotans who have gone out and expressed themselves peacefully. We recognize and understand the deep concern and grief they and so many in our community and across the country are still feeling following some recent events in our state. We also know that demonstrations include strong emotions, beliefs, and desires to be heard. And it is critical that those voices are expressed safely so that they can be heard. Make no doubt, public safety is our top priority. Our focus is keeping demonstrators, community members, drivers, our law enforcement officers safe, especially during moments of heightened tension or uncertainty. While peaceful expression is protected, any actions that harm people, destroy property, or jeopardize public safety will not be tolerated. Demonstrations must remain safe and they must remain lawful. We are coordinating with our local law enforcement partners to ensure resources are adequately deployed. As such, just as was the case last weekend, the Minnesota National Guard has staged in a way such that they can respond quickly if needed. Again, just as was the case last weekend, it is our hope that they won't be needed. We are optimistic that that will be the case. But again, any acts of violence, damage to property, threats to safety will be met with lawful enforcement actions, including arrests, as we have already done in coordination with our partner agencies. For those planning to attend those demonstrations this weekend, we encourage you, please stay informed, follow directions from law enforcement, please avoid confrontations, and help keep the focus on peaceful expression. And we remain committed to listening to our community concerns and continuing dialogue around trust, safety, and accountability. With that, I will turn it over to National Guard Major General Manke.
Hey, thanks, Commissioner. Hey, good afternoon. I'm Major General Manke. I'm the Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard. I have the distinct pleasure of commanding and serving alongside nearly 13,000 soldiers and airmen of your Minnesota National Guard, who come from more than 800 communities in the state of Minnesota. I hope you know some of us. They are your neighbors, your coworkers, your teachers, your construction workers, your first responders. Many of us are students, but most importantly, we are all Minnesotans. We live here, we work here, and we serve here. Today, under the direction of the governor, we are mobilizing elements of our National Guard to support local law enforcement and emergency management agencies to protect life and property and ensure the safety of Minnesota. We are a planning organization that prioritizes partnerships. Many of the partners you see up here today, we are partnered with, and we remain partnered with them and work with them through the planning process to ensure that we are always ready and always there.
With that, folks, we will take some questions. As a reminder, as I had said earlier, please, as you introduce your first question, introduce yourself and the media organization you're with. And with that, we'll open it up.
Sure, Rich Reed from Channel 5. I was wondering if I could ask, is there a specific plan to keep Cedar Riverside safe at this point?
Thank you for the question about keeping Cedar Riverside safe. We have been continuing to work with our local law enforcement agencies, including the Minneapolis Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, and their partner agencies. We also have, as you can see around us, state law enforcement agencies that are working with our local partners and are available. We have done a significant amount of planning with those law enforcement agencies so that we are prepared in the event that anything happens that would be need additional resources. But that planning is being done. We are confident that the city of Minneapolis and our teams have plans in place to help, again, keep the public safe, which is why we are all here today.
Will we see more uniforms on the ground in that neighborhood?
I will say that the city of Minneapolis will have certainly a large complement of police officers. Visibility is one piece of being available and ready to protect the peace in that area. What I would recommend and suggest that if people are concerned for safety, to make sure and locate a police officer that may be available and needed, but we should have plenty of people that are out there. Some will be visible, some will not, but we are prepared to address any safety issues that may come up.
Commissioner Connor White with WCCO. Do you have any anticipation on the kinds of numbers that will be involved on the side of people coming in to Cedar Riverside in that area tomorrow?
Question was on the numbers of people that may be present in the Cedar Riverside area. We don't have estimates right now that I would be able to give you on the number of people that are coming in. What I would point out is that we have had demonstrations over the last week and a half that have occurred, some without necessarily any warning that they were going to occur. So what we have in place is our contingencies for no matter what the size of that crowd that may be available or may be present in the Cedar Riverside area. We are confident that we have the staffing, the personnel available to do that. And just as a note, we are here also as a state resource. If things may happen in another community, it may not be Minneapolis, it could be someplace else, we are prepared and ready to respond to support our local law enforcement agencies should they see a need.
This does seem to be the first time that there are two different planned protests where they would be at odds with one another, and there's the possibility of clashes between civilians as opposed to what we have seen between civilians and various forms of law enforcement. Any nerves on your end about this mixture?
I'll bring it back to, again, our primary concern is the safety of everyone that will be present that day. What I would, again, call on those who may decide to attend any demonstrations or gatherings in the city of Minneapolis or anywhere, please remain calm, be peaceful, exercise your right to voice your opinions, but avoid confrontations, violence, or any property damage. We know that there may be several people that are there, but I'm counting on Minnesotans. I'm counting on those who are going to be in attendance at those locations to keep the peace, to show others that Minnesota is a safe place where people can demonstrate, can share their opinions and their voices without having any violence.
You got any message for the folks who live in that neighborhood, people who might not be involved in these two events?
What I will say is that as a father and a grandfather, I have 5 children, all married. I have 11 grandchildren. One of my sons lives in the city of Minneapolis along with his wife. Whether it be in the city of Minneapolis, whether it be anywhere else across the state of Minnesota, our pledge is to make sure that we are doing everything we possibly can to work with your local law enforcement agencies, public safety agencies, to keep everyone safe. That is our mandate, that is our mission at the Department of Public Safety and along with our other agencies that are here today. For those that are in the Cedar Riverside area, again, I would just ask for peaceful demonstrations. If you see something that you think is dangerous, certainly report that, but we will have, again, a good footprint of staff that will be available in that area, and we're just calling for peace because it is important to all of us up here as we are working together to support Minnesotans and their ability to exercise their First Amendment rights. We want to be there to be helpful. We want to be there to keep the peace. And again, let's be Minnesotans. Let's be those who want to do this the right way, to demonstrate, to share your opinions, to share your values, to share your thoughts, but to do it in a way that doesn't incite violence, that doesn't bring any more harm. And we have seen enough of that. I don't want to see any more.
I'd like to ask the Major General a question, if that would be okay.
Sure.
Just activated, does that mean we're going to see National Guard personnel on the ground in that neighborhood tomorrow?
Yeah, Hazel, thanks for the question. You know, I don't know if you'll see National Guard in the neighborhoods or not. I guess it's going to depend on what the needs are. We are a support element to local law enforcement as well as the state. And routinely and thankfully, we use state resources and other local law enforcement resources first. So I can't tell you if you will or not. I will tell you that our soldiers have gone through a bunch of training, and they are ready, and that they will be there if needed.
Is the
So
status
they're
of
basically on
activation?
standby, I'm sorry, I just want to be clear, so they're on like on standby right now, or what?
Yeah, they're mobilized and they're brought in, and they're operating out of various locations so that they are prepared, ready to go. So, you know, they are not at home. They're at a location, so their response time could be quicker than if it was a cold call if they were at home.
So wait, has your status activation actually changed since the last time we heard Governor Walz?
It has not, and the executive order was written. We have the latitude to do this for a while. So our status hasn't changed. Like I said, we have soldiers on now. We can bring soldiers to a higher state of readiness, a higher threshold of response to reduce the risk if needed, and then we can send soldiers home and reduce that rate of response if needed, all in conjunction with the Commissioner of Public Safety and our local law enforcement agencies.
Guys, we'll take one more.
Joe McCoy from Care 11 here. Do you have any comment on President Trump potentially invoking the Insurrection Act? Just your thoughts on that?
I don't really have a comment on that. Obviously, we're monitoring the situation. You know, we're trying to keep the calm here in Minnesota with the resources that we have. You know, we serve in two functions. We serve in a Title 32 capacity where the governor is the commander-in-chief, and that's what we're doing here today. And we also serve in a capacity in a Title 10 where the president is the commander-in-chief. And we routinely serve in both of those capacities all the time. As a matter of fact, we have hundreds of service members deployed right now, not in Minnesota in a Title 10 capacity. And if we're ordered to do something and it's a lawful order, we will do those to the best of our ability.
I'd like to ask the Commissioner one last quick question. I'm sorry, this is about earlier in the week. On Wednesday, we saw the BCA at the scene of that shooting situation. I'm wondering if you're aware if BCA is going to be able to take part in that investigation, unlike the earlier one the week before.
So this is a question regarding the shooting from Wednesday. Our Force Investigation Unit from the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is doing that investigation, and as their usual protocol, they'll be getting out some information in the next few days on that incident. I don't have anything else to share, but as Minnesotans know, the BCA has a Force Investigation Unit where their primary work is to investigate officer-involved shootings. They are very good at what they do. They are very professional. They have a process and a protocol that they will follow, and they're following that process and protocol in this incident.
Is there any video of that shooting that the public hasn't seen?
Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Any footage?